Hi guys, and welcome back to Dabble the Reaction.
Dabble the Reaction is a play on words. We're going to be doing so much more than just reactions. We said this week, it will be next week, we hope. Or we say we weren't going to put a time frame on it?
We're not putting a time frame on it anymore because we keep breaking promises. And we're annoying a lot of people, so we've got to stop breaking promises.
Okay, we'll do it at some point when we can get out to these shops. But if you do not know who we are, my name is Molly. This is Matt. We are full-time travel vloggers.
Quarantiners now. But yeah, with them and more, we thought we were clever on the words. We'll have to elaborate on what that more is if you're new around here. We're going to be doing, obviously, some reactions.
I always do this. I should really do it before the video.
Yeah, it's bad.
Sorry.
I'll continue, yeah?
Yeah.
We'll do some reactions, hence the name, Double the Reaction. But like we said, so much more. We're going to be doing some cooking, some eating, some news, some languages, some games. Have I missed anything? Who knows? You recommend.
Anything you recommend.
It could be done. You never know. But today we're going to follow on from a topic that we talked about the other day, which actually was a news topic, and that was the incident between India and China on the border.
So sad how it's escalated.
Yeah, the Chinese obviously have attacked and injured and killed a number of Indian soldiers. I'm not sure, there was a retaliation and some Chinese soldiers may have passed away as well, but I'm not positive. But because of that news article, we thought we'd follow on and do a recommendation that we've had it recommended a few times even before this incident, so it's very relevant now.
It's good to compare countries, I think, because you get both sides of the countries comparing and discussing, so I think it's good. This one is it really India versus China? I didn't really know there was an issue at the border.
But it's obviously escalated more, and there's an issue...
No, but I'm talking about before this.
No,
Did you know?
No,
like,
I knew there was an issue financially because India has such a high-grown economy that China didn't like it. But yeah, I don't know, I just feel like it's relevant at the moment, so we'll give it a go. Should we go straight in?
Yeah.
For many decades, India has faced many issues because of the expansionist policies of China. Well, China has border issues with nearly
There we go.
Says it all.
So relevant now.
For many people around the world, India and China are the next two emerging giants.
That's why China obviously don't like India because of it.
Really comparable? Regularly, some of us tend to compare China with India. Yes,
because of the
they
population.
are comparable in terms of population. Both are ancient civilizations, and it is believed that historically China had a massive cultural influence from India.
Really?
But today,
Didn't know that.
should we really be comparing these two giants? In the recent years, there have been times when it was even suggested that India can benefit by adopting the Chinese development model. But for many, it makes no sense.
Yeah,
and
does
it
it
is
make
because
sense to
today,
you?
the
I don't
way
think
these
it
two
does.
countries function is completely different.
Yeah,
Just
it
because
works
both
for someone, it
countries
won't
have
work for
similar
everyone.
population, comparing them does not make so much
They're
sense.
completely different in so many other
Especially
ways.
when we have a vibrant democracy in India, where ordinary citizens
Exactly.
have had a
There's
chance
a democracy in
to
India.
take the
I don't
top
think there
ranks
is
in
in
the
China
social
somehow.
and state governments. And on the other hand, we see a communist rule in China, where citizens hardly have any voice or
I
any
know what
choice.
I would prefer.
India gives freedom to its citizens and to its media to publicly criticize or protest against their
Where it should
democratically
be.
chosen governments. And in China, freedom does not exist, whether it is individuals' freedom or the freedom of its media.
So sad.
And
It's crazy, we actually saw that on the news yesterday.
Yep.
That in England, an English news channel went to China and went and interviewed one of the nurses, and as the nurse then left the hospital, the police took her in for question to see what she said to the media.
And they had to delete
Crazy.
the clip.
That most Chinese do not even know how it feels.
I think that's really sad. Like, it's a horrible thing.
Moreover, international social media sites are
Yeah, I
banned in
know.
China.
Apart from TikTok.
However,
Is TikTok allowed in
organ
there?
I think TikTok's
trafficking is
Chinese.
somehow
I'm not
still
sure.
on through some backdoor channels.
What?
And that is why there is no way that India has to find its
No.
role model
No.
in China.
No.
Yes, India can buy China-made products or take paid Chinese assistance in those fields in which China has succeeded due to its passion and keenness in reverse engineering. And yes, it is really possible, as in the recent times, these two countries have had a series of many engagements on a political level. China is famous for the art of hiding its ugly sides from the international
So you don't see it when you go
They
there.
know how to cover up slums, as they famously demonstrated that
No way.
during the Olympics in Beijing in 2008. On the other hand, we have Indians who desperately need to to improve their poor
But they
waste
don't hide
management
that.
infrastructure.
They
Even
face their
though
problems. It's a
India
good thing.
produces far lesser waste and emissions,
That's
still many
mad.
of its streets look
Didn't know
dirtier
that.
than the streets of the USA or even China's. Many rivers in India are extremely dirty, and nearly
That's
all
so
its
cool.
initiatives to clean its rivers haven't shown any sensational progress. Openly, both countries deny that they are competing with each other, but it is difficult to believe
Typical.
that the Chinese are very happy about India's rise.
Why would they not?
China
Why does
has
it
been
matter?
heavily investing in the countries that surround India and is trying to increase its influence in South Asian and Southeast Asian zone. On the other hand, India is keen to work closely with countries like Vietnam, Philippines and
We
Japan,
have seen that.
just
Yeah.
to name a few. India is keen to build its friendship with a Central Asian nation like Kazakhstan. And in
That's good.
Tajikistan,
It's good to have a friendship
maintains a
rather
base.
than enemies.
Not just that, both countries are also competing in Myanmar, where China has invested money in Dawei port, and India has done the same by investing money in Sitwe port.
Oh.
India is famous for under-invoicing, and it has its own challenges, as just a tiny percentage of its citizens pay taxes.
Didn't know this.
On the other hand, China is often accused of deliberately fudging its data upwards.
What's it makes people
The
pay
fact
too
is
much?
that India is
Yeah.
not comparable to anyone. There is no democracy of such a big size in the
That's
world.
such a good thing.
And
They have
India's
such a good
extraordinary
democracy.
diversity in its cultures, religions, and languages makes it even more unique. But does it mean that India cannot learn anything from China? Perhaps it can. India can learn from China how to boost the self-confidence of its citizens by
Yeah.
taking pride in its cultures.
I think India
and
have
its
pride in their
identity,
culture though.
Yeah, I
and
do.
For
also
sure.
by beautifully preserving them. In the global scenario, India can learn from China how to be more
It seems
straightforward.
A
India
bit more
like they like to give
selfish,
people
yeah, they give.
everything.
They're too
It's
nice,
national
too friendly to
interest
other countries maybe.
without being over concerned of how the world would react. India can learn from China how an amazing rail infrastructure can be built
India has a
by
good
the power
train
of money.
system.
Yeah.
As money
The
can
roots
buy
are
any
there.
technology,
Yeah.
regardless
modernising
of who
some
the
of them.
inventor is
Yeah.
and where the invention happens. And not only the rail infrastructure, perhaps India can also learn from China that any exotic foreign cuisine can also be made available and popular in a country without getting invaded. India can learn from China how tourism can be increased by building
Yeah,
modern
that
architectural
makes sense.
marvels.
I do quite like
Instead
how
of
India
thanking
has
its
lots
Yeah.
of
losers,
old buildings.
colonizers
Uh-huh.
and invaders
That's the
for
charm.
building them, even though they destroyed more than what they built. And what they built was also from the wealth that was looted from India. India can learn from China how to aggressively promote its tourism among the world's citizens, give priority to modernize the infrastructure for its international tourists, and at least clean those streets first, which are visited by them.
Never found any of the streets.
India
No.
can
Dirty
also
as
learn from
such.
Depends
China
where you go, it's
how
like
a
anywhere.
combination of a sophisticated sports infrastructure and the clever use of legal performance-enhancing supplements can get you the Olympic Games glory. India can learn from China how in our times there are many countries for whom the power of
Yeah.
money speaks better
Very true.
than the power of love and spirituality, and how money can get you friends.
It's very true.
allies, and
You look at some
partners in the
countries around the world
international
that
politics.
certain countries are allies with just because
India
of the
may
money.
even learn from China how to speak the truth very loud, or just repeat a lie 1,000 times, unless it starts to sound like the truth. But does it mean that India should be deceitful?
No, they
and
don't want to go away
disrespectful?
from what they do
Does
best.
it mean that India should also bully the small nations and
No.
become an expansionist? Or does it mean that India should take away the freedom
No.
of its citizens and its media and also start hiding its slums? No, it doesn't. Because
want it to be real,
India
don't you?
can be tactful, India can be proactive, and India can be pro-India so that it can protect its heritage and its interests. India can also dig its own history
Yeah, why does it
and
have
find
to?
its
Mhm.
own
You don't want to
style
copy other
models
countries.
and can make its citizens self-inspired. Because India is unique, India is multicultural, India is diverse, and there is no other India.
Exactly. You don't want to become another
And
country.
that is why the world can afford to be a bit more India. But the world
That's
cannot
very true.
Very
afford
true.
to be China. And yes, there are still many takers of India's love
It's very true.
and spirituality. See you again.
I have to say, if the world was more like another country, then you wouldn't be your own country. Like,
Exactly.
does that make sense?
You want
can't
to be
just
unique.
copy.
India wants to keep its uniqueness and doesn't want to become like China. China now has so many enemies. You hear about them falling out with so many other countries. Obviously, what's just happened with India is terrible. Them attacking the Indian soldiers. And I think you know that that's the case because never in history has India attacked first. They will only retaliate if they are attacked. But it shows maybe why India don't like why China doesn't like India, because their economy is growing.
Yeah.
And they have different values to them.
I do feel like you can't just take over borders and countries whenever you feel like it. I feel like we're in such... the world's moved on in such a big way now that you can't just go and... We're not at the point where you just go and invade a country anymore. Like,
no, it's wrong.
It shouldn't be happening.
It's crazy. What do you think? What would you take from China and what would you take from India if you were going to make the perfect country? Comment below. Let us know.
What would you take? I would take the tech advantages and advances from China because they make everything we buy is from China.
Yeah, but then I'd take India's thought process with it all. That they don't try and cover things up. They're real. They want to make friends with other countries. They want to help the smaller countries. They don't want to like China want to take advantage of the smaller countries. India don't want to do that. They want to help countries around them.
Everything in India is all about the people. So like everyone supports each other. So there's vendors on the streets and people only buy from them. Like we had the best food. I feel like you need to take away that whole togetherness. Oh, it just feels like such a loving video we just did there.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. Very nice. What do you? Yeah, let us know what you think. What would you take from India? What would you take from China? Thank you for your recommendations. Keep them coming. And if you're new around here, make sure you hit that subscribe, drop us a like,
and keep on dabbling.